Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back once more with the Unnamed Motorsport podcast. Today we're here to review the Turkish Grand Prix, and after quite a few memorable races in a row actually in recent weeks, I'd argue every race since the summer, well really before the summer break. When was the last time we had a meh race in Formula 1?
What was before? It was probably Styria. Before Silverstone.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It probably was, wasn't it? Every race since then has been
actually Zandvoort
either a banger. Yeah, but it also was,
just
Supermax hype, wasn't it? Yeah, exactly. And new track as well. That's always a bit special. Yeah, we've had a good run in Formula 1 recently. We head to Turkey, Istanbul Park once again. The track has actually got rubber on it this year, which is reassuring. GG's to the Turkish people for remembering to do that. There was the threat of rain, so we thought, great. 2020 version 2, absolute banger of a race last year, created carnage. We saw Lance Stroll equaling Nico Hülkenberg's pole position tally.
Already,
obviously,
snuck it in there.
I've snuck it in there. Yep. This is now the Lance Stroll support podcast.
Still more poles than Perez though. Absolute fraud.
Yep, but who's got 2 dubs and a race seat still? Not Nico Hülkenberg.
Got a kid though.
But yeah.
So
was Perez.
Oh yeah, Perez was a kid as well. Never mind. This has been off the rails already. This is a record.
But yeah, so Istanbul, it was going to be an absolute whirly of a weekend. And then, to be fair, I said this in yesterday's fantasy video. If you haven't checked that out, go back and do that. Cheeky plug right there. You have not. No. That doesn't surprise me. Are you even in my fantasy league?
Probably. I've not checked it since Baku. So
I was going to say, I've never seen you in there.
Gasly's still my turbo, I think. So.
Oh, fair enough. He did all right for you this weekend then. But yeah, Turkey wasn't a bad race by any stretch. It just, when we've had so many great races recently, it's bad by 2021 standards, wasn't it?
It was just a bit stale. You sort of knew after 10 laps what the order was going to be. Bar like
most of it, yeah.
Top 2 certainly, and when you know the top 2 is going to be the same for 50 laps out of 52, it's a little bit dead. So
yeah, well, 58 really as well. But I think it was. No, I think that the other problem as well, wasn't it, was the fact that it could have really turned into quite a classic race towards the end, or right at the start. But it all just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, it was like last year almost, where like being on the really worn inters was for some reason OP again, which it just shouldn't be, because it's like you're on slicks but with a little bit of tread.
They're called slinters.
Yeah.
Which, now I've said, that sounds like a really bad word.
It does sound terrible, like a splinter. Oh dear.
But exactly. Yeah. Oh, dearie me.
Anyway. Yeah, weird.
Carry on.
I wasn't that entertained, really. I mean, whenever Bottas wins, I'm just feeling a bit lukewarm.
Well, it's been a meh race. It's either been an absolute whirly or like a really dull race if Bottas wins.
Was good, but other than that, they've all been pretty dead. So,
Austria 20?
Yeah, the first race of the season.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. I don't know. Well, I couldn't remember why it was memorable, to be honest.
Because Hamilton's a cheat and blew up Albon.
Yeah, and only 11 cars finished. Yeah. It was carnage, wasn't it? But yeah, before we even got into the weekend, though, there was already some news, of course. Carlos Sainz confirmed to be having a grid penalty. He was going to be at the back of the grid. We basically knew that from like the day after Russia. And then Hamilton as well. It was confirmed he'd be taking a penalty. Was it confirmed Friday night?
Yeah,
I want to say, or was it just before the weekend?
It was before practice, wasn't it? It's just before practice.
Might have been, actually, yeah, now you've said that. Yeah. So, we already knew it probably wasn't going to be we weren't going to see like a Hamilton-Verstappen battle like we've seen so many times throughout this year so far. So that kind of already took a little bit of the sting out the tail. But we got into qualifying. I'll be honest, Jamie, I didn't actually get to watch qualifying. The only sort of notes I've got here was obviously Schumacher made it back into Q2 again.
Yeah, I didn't watch qualifying either.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, Schumacher came 14th, Alonso came 5th. No, 6th, but obviously Hamilton took a penalty. Gasly was 5th and 4th, so pretty good. Leclerc doing what Leclerc does. And then Bottas and Verstappen.
P3 is third top 3 of the year.
Yeah, after 2 poles.
Yeah.
It was fairly standard. I wasn't that upset that I missed it.
No, Lewis on the pole though, of course, but penalties meant that Bottas was on the pole. But it seemed like throughout the entirety of practice, didn't it? Mercedes just seemed to have that little bit extra over Red Bull this weekend.
They were good this weekend. They were very good.
Yeah. And I think we've seen quite a lot of races recently where Red Bull seem to have had the slight edge. But this weekend it seemed to go back towards Mercedes' favour once more. It's been a very odd year.
Pretty quick as well compared to Red Bull. And also in
I don't really think you could get a good idea of it, could you, really,
yeah.
at Russia?
Like,
obviously, Bottas let Verstappen through. Yeah.
I don't know.
But obviously, then we get to Sunday. I'm going to be honest as well, Jamie. I literally made it home as the last car was put onto the grid because I got called into work.
Really good build-up for you there.
Yep, so I literally got home, it was like, it's raining. Oh my god, it's raining. Bottas has lost this.
Yeah. I mean, when I saw it was wet, I was like, oh, good, Verstappen's won. That's cool. So, yeah, Bottas did very well, to be fair to him.
Yep.
Frustratingly, because it's just boring.
Well, for some.
So.
Yeah, a Bottas win, like we just said, is never the most dramatic thing in the world, is it?
No, not at all.
Like, we only get to see it twice a year, but when we do...
Well, not even that this year. That'll be last whenever, so I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he probably is, isn't it? That's the depressing thing. Like, you watch that and
is it depressing?
Well, yeah, no, it's not like watching the end of, like, Verstappen or Hamilton's dynasty or anything like that, but it's always, like, a bit just there. Like, it's... Like, on weekends like that, you're like... Why can't he do this more? Like, we've said this so many times, haven't we?
Yeah.
Why can't Bottas...
You just know for a fact that if Hamilton didn't have a penalty and started on pole, the order would have been Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas.
Exactly.
I don't know how he can do it.
Oh, Hamilton, Bottas, Verstappen, I reckon.
Nah.
I just don't think Max had enough this weekend.
But he would have got off the start because the outside was better and then just stayed there.
No?
Yeah. Outside's always been better at Turkey. Clean line in it, even in the wet.
I wouldn't argue that.
Look at last year, Verstappen went from 2nd to like 12th.
Yeah, because Red Bull just decided they weren't going to start the cars.
Hamilton went 5th to 1st? No, 5th to 2nd or something? Because he was on the clean side.
Yeah, because he's the GOAT.
No, it's because he's on the clean side of the grid.
Okay. Well, anyway, we got to the start then. We were all expecting a wet race. I was expecting carnage at turn 1, and we kind of got a little bit, didn't we?
Yeah. It was very minimal.
Yeah, talk me through that as a Gasly fan.
As a Gasly fan. Well, it was a joke of a penalty.
Yep. Even Alonso said that.
Like, it was obviously 3 wide. Gasly is in the middle. He can see that Perez is up the inside, so they've got to leave some space because you don't want to crash into a Red Bull. And then, like, Alonso's gone around the outside, which he's fully entitled to do, but because Gasly's trying to leave space, he obviously can't take the apex, and then just understeered into Alonso. There's nothing you can do about it at all. And we've seen so many times, specifically when a car is red in question, there's just no penalties given on lap 1. And then this time, when it's basically a racing incident, they just stick a 5-second on it. Luckily, it didn't really make much difference, but I can see why. I'd also got 2 penalty points, which is the same amount of penalty points as Bottas and Stroll got in Hungary for pile driving half the grid. So, very confusing. Penalty points are stupid, but yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's becoming more and more calls, isn't there, that we need consistent stewards in the sport.
Because, it should never have been a penalty. I don't think anyone...
Yeah.
Like, even...
Perez certainly wouldn't have said it was a... Perez probably didn't know the crash happened on the outside of him, let's be real.
And then both
Gasly was, of course, never going to say that we were worth a penalty, and even Alonso said it's not, so why on earth they gave that was a bit ridiculous. Then, of course, obviously... Alonso got sent basically to the rear of the field, didn't he? Latifi also spanned lap 1. Williams were nowhere this weekend. It was a bit of a shame to see, but again, I think we kind of all expected this once more. Yeah. Now people are trying to claim they're the 5th best team on the grid for whatever reason.
I don't know who you've seen claiming that. But
I've seen a lot of people on Twitter going that. Max Verstappen said it, didn't he?
No, he said it's not as bad as people think, which I agree with.
It was one of the drivers said it's like the 5th best car on the grid.
It wasn't Max. He said it's not like a backmarker car like people think it is. But he didn't say it was 5th fastest. I'm
going to have to remember that then. So quickly talk me through Alonso versus Mick Schumacher.
Oh, that was just stupidity all round. Like, Alonso was just... Obviously, he had way more grip than a Haas, so he just thought, screw it, I'm going to just drive into him. Trying to go past on the inside of turn 6. Around basically where Hamilton overtook everyone later in the race. Alonso tried it and just was so far back, came in from so deep, and just completely power drive the side of Schumacher. Luckily, not much damage, but like it just ruined Schumacher's track position, which he worked really hard for on the Saturday. Although he's going to finish 19th anyway, so it didn't make much difference. Alonso then gets the same penalty that Gasly got, despite it being a much more obvious mistake.
That one probably deserved a 5-second penalty, didn't it?
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I think that was the thing, though, wasn't it? They couldn't not penalise that one, but they should have penalised that one, but not the other one. It was all very, very weird early on. But immediately then, obviously, the focus really shifts onto two drivers, doesn't it? Hamilton trying to slice his way through and Sainz trying to slice his way through. Obviously, Ricciardo took penalties and started from the back as well, and just went nowhere as we watched Sainz fly through the order.
Sainz was getting one
Ricciardo
lap.
just did nothing.
Sainz, yeah, I think the Ferrari did have the edge on the McLaren, but still, he should have been passing.
Ferrari definitely had a slightly better car this
He should
weekend,
have been passing
but
people quicker, Ricciardo.
McLaren have still got a good car down the straights.
Yeah. But Sainz did really well. First, 20 laps or so, he was basically picking him off one by one. Really good stuff, apart from driving into Vettel, but he got away with it for some reason.
Yeah, and that then... I can understand, he locked the rears slightly, but the fact, again, that Gasly got one on that one, but Sainz didn't there. I think if Vettel got more damage, he probably would have been penalised for that.
But this is when the
that's not the way penalties should be sorted.
The stewards give out penalties based on the outcome rather than based on the crime. And it's like... Yeah, it's stupid. But...
It's a bit
good
insane.
race from Sainz. Got his first ever driver of the day.
Yep, El Racismo winning picking up driver of the day.
For driver of the day.
Has he called Rio Haryanto? Yeah. Rio Haryanto got driver of the day. Where was that for?
Got the first ever one because of all the Indonesian people.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I thought it was just the Verstappen parade all the time.
No.
Rio Haryanto, oh, that's incredible. I didn't know that. Thank you very much. But yeah, really on though, we actually saw a good battle between 7-time Formula 1 world champion, arguably the greatest driver of all time, still in one of the fastest cars in Formula 1, versus a 21-year-old Japanese small fellow who doesn't quite know why he's kept a seat next year.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that would have turned out to be? Probably race
well.
battle of the day? No, second best battle of the day, of course.
Yeah. Sonoda held his own for a long time. Obviously, he's a Red Bull family driver, so he's going to try and hold Hamilton off as long as he can. Which, for some reason, people were taking issue with when it's literally what he's paid.
Yeah, I was going to say that in a minute. But, why are people suddenly oh my god, he's trying to rig the title?
It's of
he's literally paid by them. What else is he going to do?
Literally, it's so stupid. But yeah, Sonoda held him up for a good 4 or 5 laps. Very well done. And it sort of
6 laps.
It sort of curtailed any chance Hamilton had of gaining quickly on the top pack because he was obviously going slowly, but keeping Hamilton behind in all the right places. And then it was sort of back when Kobayashi used to race Button for the fun of it in 2009. So
yeah, basically.
Yeah, I hope that's not racist. I don't think it is. But
I don't know why. I think you've now made it look more racist than it was because you've tried to say it wasn't racist. But yeah, I mean, when Hamilton finally did make the move walk on Sonoda, though, didn't he? That was a decent little move. Yeah. He didn't do an Alonso.
And he didn't drive into the side of him either, yeah.
No, which is reassuring. But so obviously we saw Sainz then try to take chunks out of Vettel on his carve through the field, and then that was on about, lap 15, wasn't it?
Mm.
Then 20 laps, nothing happened.
Yeah, I saw after
nothing
the race,
at all.
There was a position chart, and for a solid 15 laps, it was basically just all straight lines.
It's mad, wasn't it?
Everyone just got into the order they were going to stay in, and that was it. Until Hamilton and Perez started getting close.
Hamilton, taking time out of Sergio Perez, and Checo proved to everyone, in my eyes, why he's kept that Red Bull seat for next year, because that was a brilliant battle, and Checo used all his experience there.
Yeah.
How on earth he got the traction out of the final corner as well?
I have no clue. He took such a narrow line. But yeah, Hamilton should have also got a penalty, but we ignore that. And
no,
he forced him into the pits. That was off the track.
We didn't force him into the pits, did he?
He did. He was. If there was a white line on the side of the track, he would have forced Perez over it.
But there wasn't, so he didn't.
It's the pit entry. But yeah, if there was gravel there,
I think if you're gonna try and argue that Hamilton deserves a penalty there, you could have said that for Verstappen at Monza, lap 1.
Lap 1. What happened? Lap 1. Oh yeah, fair.
Remember, yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah, I'll shut up. But yeah, very good battle.
Good.
Side by side, obviously through the traditional side by side part of Turkey, where we've had so many good battles over the years. And yeah, very good stuff from Perez. I was amazed he was able to get the traction, and he basically just sent it into turn 1 on completely the wrong line because he was quite a solid distance behind.
Yeah.
Into the braking zone and just broke
and
super late and got it slowed down anyway.
There's definitely been a conversation, hasn't there, by the looks of it, behind the scenes with Red Bull and AlphaTauri. Gasly wasn't invited to the conversation, but they have very much now been told, you make Hamilton's life as difficult as possible.
Well, that's the thing. Red Bull have 4 cars to fight with. I mean, Mercedes basically have 8. So
no, they
8?
don't.
6? How many do they...
No.
No, it is 8. But
2.
the Williams aren't going to be able to do anything.
The Williams won't do anything, Aston Martin won't do anything, and McLaren are too focused on Ferrari.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah,
like, they're not going to go full Mercedes DTM.
Stroll and Norris basically waved Hamilton past when he came up behind him.
Well, I couldn't get as well. Sorry, quickly going back. Did you see Norris's interview on Saturday after qualifying?
No, I didn't know.
It was really odd. Because obviously they said he'd been moved up to P7. He's like, well, it'll be P8 again, wasn't it, early on? They were like, why? And they were like, well, I'm not going to fight Hamilton, am I? And like, well, that's not the spirit. I mean, yeah, but I'm just realistic.
And like every other track.
It was just really weird from Lando, the fact that it almost like he was still dejected from Russia. He was like, well, I'm not going to be able to fight him, am I? Like, just hype up the team a bit.
Especially when one race ago you almost won until it started raining.
Exactly. It just seemed very, very odd from Lando Norris. But, yeah, later on, though, obviously, like we said, we saw Hamilton versus Perez. Then, we see the Aston Martin masterclass.
I was so confused at the first because it was like a good battle between Hamilton and Perez. It just cuts to Vettel coming out of the pits, like, who cares? And then suddenly you see he's on yellow slick tyres. It's like, what a clown. Like, what was he thinking? No clue. But yeah, very positive.
But, I mean, he didn't really have much to lose, did he, by doing it? Because he was he hovering, like, 12th or something anyway?
He was, 12th or 13th or something. But, like, still,
yeah,
it was so obviously not ready for dries.
No.
And
but
even,
it was quite fun to watch him wrestle the car around for half a lap.
Yeah, and he spun into the pit entry.
Yep.
And then got it going again, luckily. But yeah, it's basically just threw the race away. Like, anything can happen at that point. Just... I don't even know what he's thinking at all.
And anything could have happened, but then nothing did.
Yeah, in hindsight, he wouldn't have got points anyway, but...
No.
Say there was a late safety car or something and he was in 13th rather than a lap down.
I think if there was going to be a late safety car, it was going to be Seb McCall's day.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, very strange decision to pit for the dries at that point, but like, yeah, nothing to lose, so...
Yeah, it was a bit odd, wasn't it? But then we sort of saw like the weird strategy gambles between Leclerc and Hamilton.
Red Bull absolutely nailed it, by the way, because there was a stage where Ricciardo had pit early and not gone any quicker because the new inters were not working as much as the inter slicks.
No.
And then Red Bull pit Verstappen and Perez, at basically the perfect time to be the quickest pace for the rest of the race, which just... Obviously, Red Bull are really good at strategy, but it was basically nailed because they weren't going any slower at any point. And then you had Hamilton. After Verstappen pit, they had Hamilton just behind Verstappen.
But it's because it started to dry up more again, didn't it, later on? So obviously they'd already worn down the tyres enough that by the time it was drier again, they were back on the slick inters.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was really well done by Red Bull there. Obviously, Bottas as well at this point is just cruised off to victory.
It was basically obvious what you had to do,
Yeah. But he had a battle with Leclerc, and Leclerc's engineer gave possibly the greatest radio message of all time.
Stupidest radio. It's like Leclerc's asking, if I go like 2 seconds a lap slower than Bottas right now, where am I going to finish, basically? And he goes, if you keep Bottas behind your P1, it's like, obviously.
It's what is stupid. Like, Ferrari are a team with an operating budget of 500 million euros as of last year.
They've got zero
and
common sense.
They seem to believe that Charles Leclerc hasn't worked out if he doesn't let anyone overtake him, he'll win a Grand Prix. Like, how stupid do you have to be?
It was like straight out of league racing. It's like, oh yeah, if you keep the guy behind you, you've won. Like, cheers. I didn't know that.
It's just like insanity.
To be fair, they did kind of bottle it as well. I mean, Perez was quick, but if they'd have pit at the same time, Leclerc probably would have had a podium.
Yeah, because he was ahead of Perez, wasn't he?
He was ahead of Perez. He was third all the first stint, and then obviously tried to keep it out as long as possible. Sort of did a half-hearted version of what Hamilton tried and Ocon tried, and then just pit late and then came up behind Perez. No, he came up ahead of Perez, didn't he, actually? And then ruined his tyres because they were graining loads like Hamilton did.
Exactly. So I think it would have been close anyway for Leclerc and Perez.
But good race, still, fourth place for Leclerc. Not
exactly. Bad. Let's get on then probably to, would we argue, the biggest talking point from the race then?
Probably, yeah.
Should Hamilton have pit?
I think so how it played out, like, he should have pit when they told him to the first time. That was the fastest way to complete the race in hindsight. But obviously hindsight is a wonderful thing. But
it certainly is.
I think at the stage they got to, I can see why they pit, but I can see why Hamilton's also annoyed.
Yeah.
Because he could have had third place if the tyres stayed on, which they might have done. There was only 7 laps to go, 6 or 7 laps to go. But it's just not worth risking 15 points in case you get a puncture or suddenly pace drops off to you're going to finish 7th or 8th. It's just not worth the risk when you can cover off Gasly, take 5th really safely, and potentially get fastest lap as well, which he didn't actually get.
And I think this is the thing, isn't it? Hamilton has got to be the Alain Prost this year. He has been for the most part. Mercedes, I think, like you said, obviously, should have pit lap 42 when they wanted to. But they would have looked like morons had they stayed out. But we've got to give a special shout out, as always, to F1 Twitter for trying to claim Mercedes are the worst strategists in Formula 1 after they literally won Hamilton the race 2 weeks ago. How
and
forgetful.
Again, they were right. If Hamilton followed the team instruction to pit when they wanted to pit, it would have been a very quick way to finish the race, and he probably would have come third.
People talk about, they go, the Mercedes computer simulations. James Vowles disaster class. Why didn't they run the numbers?
Yeah.
You're like, they are, constantly.
Hamilton ignored them. That's what the problem is.
Yeah, I can understand why Hamilton didn't want to pit. Yeah, it was one of those runs where, a bit like Lando at Russia, isn't it? They'll learn from it, but it could have gone a whole lot better. A whole lot worse, even, as well.
Yeah, and I can see... you get no information as a driver. When they said, we'll pit to cover Gasly off, Hamilton probably thought, I'll be in the same position then, that's great. And then he comes out of the pits and he's 5th, and he's like, why am I 5th? Just because they didn't give him enough information, apparently. But
no,
I think if he'd have stayed out, we saw Ocon at the end going 5 seconds up slower than he was before. So if they'd have tried staying Hamilton out, he could have easily finished 7th or 8th behind Norris and that lot. So
I think Hamilton would have probably been better on his tyres than Ocon, though.
Yeah, that's true. But it's just not worth the risk, because if you get
don't know, do you?
Yeah,
exactly.
If you get a blowout, then it's championships been very difficult to win from there. So.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, like you said, though, obviously Ocon pulled off the no stop, so we ended up seeing Valtteri Bottas. We mentioned after Russia, it had been an entire year since he last won a Grand Prix. Bottas back on top, the final time in Formula 1. 10 race victories, is it now?
Yeah, the same as Rosberg got in 1 year in 2016.
And more than Rosberg got in 2016. More than Rosberg got.
So yeah.
Because Hamilton won 10. It's the same as Hamilton got in 2016.
Yeah, without winning
Hamilton's won as many races not winning a title in 1 year as Bottas has in 5 years of the fastest
in his whole career as well.
Exactly, in his whole career. But yeah, I mean, I think Bottas deserved a win this year, didn't he?
Yeah, he's been decent.
No, I argue that. No, he didn't. He hasn't really had any races here where he deserved to win.
I mean,
there's been no Valtteri, it's James.
If Ricciardo and Ocon have deserved to win, then
yeah, but they didn't.
Bottas has to. Yeah, they.
Neither of them have.
Yeah, they were both complete luck. But yeah.
No, Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris have deserved a win this year.
Wins, yeah.
Sainz arguably deserves a win this year. Gasly arguably deserves a win this year. The way they've been driving, but not Bottas, not Ricciardo. Well. Russell deserves a win as well, and I'm sure he'll get many more.
Ocon
down the
and
line.
Ricciardo. Ocon has still got more than half of his points down to the win in Hungary, which was complete luck.
Is he? No, he's got 50 odd now.
No, he's not. He's on. He's on 46.
No, he's not.
Yep.
I don't believe. Is Alonso on 59? Is he?
Alonso's on 58.
Oh shit, he is. Yeah.
Alonso's doing so much better, and Ocon got carried by 25 points for a win.
Yeah. Alonso's the highest driver in the standings without a podium.
Yeah.
I do not want to see. Well, unless it's Carlos Sainz, I do not want to see the Spanish flag on my podium. Yeah.
No, he's going to get a podium.
El plan. Oh dear.
I can't. He actually said that in an interview. That's actually jokes. I found that.
Yeah, I know, it's insane, isn't it? But yeah, the Russian Grand Prix. Then, like we said, it was a bit of a shame because it wasn't a horrendous race, but we've just had so many great ones recently, haven't we?
Yeah, it wasn't fantastic. I'm glad I watched it. It was the first race I watched since Zandvoort, so apparently whenever I watch, it's just a bit dead.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for that, Jamie.
I can't watch the next one, so there's that.
Oh, good. Cota's going to be an absolute banger then. Yeah. Speaking of Cota then, Jamie, top 3.
Do I just say Verstappen because it's traditions? Nah, we're going Hamilton.
Are you?
Yeah, Hamilton's good at Cota.
Oh, baby!
And then Verstappen. And then... Let's give it Charles. Why not? He's doing well.
Fair enough.
Charles Leclerc.
Fair enough. I am going to go more boring than you then. I'm going to go Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas.
Wow, that's so creative.
Yep.
How did you think of that?
I'm going so dull for this weekend.
And it feels like ages. So
2019,
wasn't it? Which Bottas won.
Did he?
Yeah, he beat Hamilton. Verstappen second from last. Hamilton third. But Hamilton won as well.
Really?
Yeah, this is true.
What happened to Hamilton that race then?
He was trying to do a stupid strategy by ignoring the team, and then they put him late. So pretty much like Turkey.
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah. I vaguely remember that now because he'd already has he wrapped up the title?
Oh no, the title
then?
was the race after because he was it. I'm trying to think.
Are you thinking of 2018?
I'm thinking of mixing them both. 2019 it was a 1-2, but Bottas won.
Yes, because Hamilton really closed in towards the end, didn't he?
No, Bottas overtook him. Hamilton did one less stop, I think, or something like that.
Oh yeah, vaguely. Yeah, but I'm just have to watch that back, ready for the weekend. Yeah, this is the weird thing, isn't it? We've sort of got through one more thing to discuss. I almost forgot. Andretti, rumoured to be taking over.
Shut up.
Do you not believe that's happening?
No way. Colton Herta is not getting a seat ahead of
No, I don't think Colton Herta will get the seat. Not straight away.
But I think
Oscar Piastri will get it.
That Herta's now apparently the front runner for that seat.
Yeah, but I reckon it's Oscar Piastri still.
It will still be
I believe in
Zhou.
I believe in Piastri.
I still think it'll be Zhou, but I'm slightly less confident than I was 2 weeks ago. So.
Well, you were slightly less confident 2 weeks ago than you were a month ago that Zhou would win the F2 title.
That's true. So.
You've just accepted now, haven't you?
F2's not back for a while, is it?
F2's not back till
the end of time.
Qatar. So, no, not Qatar.
Saudi Arabia.
Dubai, Saudi. Yeah, I don't know. They're all you
were going to say something bad then.
No, I wasn't. Don't you dare. But yeah, I think Andretti, there's a very real chance they'll buy in. Unfortunately, that kind of means Haas now are going to be left to rot.
And be a pointless American team.
Or does it mean we're going to get a load of American teams that fight for the back mark? Because we're going to see McWilliams cheeseburger racing next year.
The Duke of Hammond racing.
Oh no.
Bring back Joseph Newgarden and Scott Speed.
Exactly. I'll bring back Scott Speed.
Scott Speed
yes,
was
please.
a right legend. He's so funny.
Jamie, he was the guy that ruined everyone on iRacing.
Was he?
Yeah, do you not remember that?
In all the interviews in 2007, he was class.
No, he was the guy that got banned off iRacing because he kept taking people out. But he'd already done promo work with them. And then when iRacing announced they were going to be re-adding him to the service, they put an announcement out on their forums going, Scott Speed is back, and the top response was, thanks for the warning. Which is the best thing of all time. What an elite mentality.
I want him and Dan Ticktum as teammates.
Oh, don't. Honestly.
Rubens Barrichello's son.
No! Don't put him anywhere near a Formula 1 car. Don't put him anywhere near iRacing either. But yeah, I think... Does that cover us for this weekend?
I think that's everything.
I think that's everything. Yeah, there hasn't really been a huge... There's been nothing sort of really going on around the sport recently, has there?
No, not really.
Talks of 8 sprint races.
They announced Carbon Zero. That's not very interesting.
Carbon Zero, yeah, I think they're going to have to go to...
They said biofuels is the way forward.
Biofuels. I've honestly, the last month for me has given me faith that I won't have to live in a silent car future.
Yeah,
genuinely, I genuinely thought.
So inefficient, so.
Yeah, exactly. I genuinely thought up until about a month ago that I might get one more petrol car before I have to go electric. But now I genuinely believe we're going to see biofuels soon.
Which is good.
It really is. Bring back the V10s. a biofuel V10 would be exactly what Formula 1 needs.
Fuel.
No, it wouldn't.
Actually, for Formula 1, I thought you just meant in real life.
Oh, yeah, as well, yeah.
But yeah, imagine we just get internal combustion engines with biofuels. I don't think it will happen.
Yeah. Don't you?
Now we've got kinetic energy, electrical hybrid systems. There's no way they're going back. Not completely, anyway.
I think they'll bring back KERS and I think they'll keep KERS and stuff, but I can't see them not trying to go biofuels if it's the way forward.
Yeah, they'll go biofuels for the internal combustion, but they won't get rid of the MGU-K in that lot.
They already are for
they're
2026.
Getting rid of the H, so they're not getting rid of the K.
Oh no, hybrid, isn't it? Kinetic though. Yeah, I can. Yeah, no, I can't. I don't think they would get rid of it. I think you're always going to have that little bit there.
Yeah, but they'll try and sell it as a hybrid, otherwise people will start crying, all the eco-mentalists.
Yeah, but by that point, biofuels will have proven to everyone that the world's not ending.
Yeah.
Exactly. But before we go down the Greenpeace route for the rest of the day,
block all the motorways.
Please don't. Anything else to add before we round out?
No.
It was a weird old week in the world of Formula 1.
My car's broken, that's fun.
Your car's broken, is it? What have you done to that then?
Oh, this is a story time. So I've got a hole in my exhaust, which I knew about, and it sounds like a V8 now.
But you actually got hold of it, or...?
No, a hole in the underneath of it.
Oh, a hole, okay.
Yeah. And it sounds like a V8 when I rev it, and it's actually sick, but it's really bad.
Have you ever heard of V8?
Yes, it sounds like my car. And then...
your 1.2...
My 1.2 Corsa, 2003. Yeah.
2003? Oh, dearie me.
It's almost as old as me. But yeah.
We're gonna have to do a comparison video at some point.
I took it to Halford's. Promotion here. We're actually going to,
You're going to slag them off, aren't you? Because I know this story.
And then they were trying to fix, I did the MOT there, which cost me a ludicrous amount of money anyway. And then
who goes for an MOT at Halfords?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking.
Just go to a private place. They won't do it properly.
They try and they do the MOT. They find out that my lights need replacing, which they don't. There's a cut in my front left, which there isn't, and the exhaust needs replacing, which I knew about. And for those three things, they were trying to charge me £750, which is more than the car's worth. And my dad did some Googling and found all of them for a combined £100. So,
nice.
So yeah, I've got an MOT booked again for tomorrow at a backstreet place. So they'll tell me that my lights are fine, and I just need an exhaust. So it's all good. No new
I can't wait for this. I can't wait for this backstreet place to try and charge you £1,300 for it.
If they do, I'm getting a new car.
Or already make the changes and they go, yeah, that could be £1,300 soon.
I'll just run away. Let's keep the car.
Fair enough. Well, we've had a Jamie 183 story time as well.
That's my life.
To round us out. But I think that'll do us though for this video. Thank you all so much for watching as always. I wanted to say a personal thank you as well for, I think, 20,800 subscribers now as well. We're nearing in on 21k.
By the time this comes out.
Maybe, to be honest, is that I thanked people for 20,600 and I'd already realised I'd hit 700. It's mad at the moment.
Life
you guys
of a YouTuber, look at this.
You guys are just nuts, honestly. It's insane. But
no one's getting this far in the video.
What's that?
No one's watching 38 minutes of this.
Exactly. That's why I can say it on now. But yeah, we'll be back next week. Of course, no Grand Prix this weekend, so Jamie and I'm sure will cook up something special. I want to say as well, I think the last podcast was by far and away the most watched we've ever done.
Very good.
650 views. So thank you all for that. Yeah, mega numbers
Dennis
for the podcast.
Dennis F1 future. That's how it goes.
Exactly. The Formula Dennis is going to be a real thing. But yeah, we'll be back next week though with a special one-off video. I think we got a few more ideas for random ones we want to do. But thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you guys very, very soon.